How are you, folks? Thanks for waiting. We got a little hung up there at the town hall talking about all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
So who do we have here?
John Preston, since I'm on the end of the line.
Okay.
I'm Ann Lockett.
Ann Lockett.
Eileen Gerard.
Eileen.
Gail Peters.
Nice to meet you.
Walter Morse.
Walter Morse. Mm-hmm. Are you related to Arlie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did a piece with him.
Oh, is that right?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. He was one of the first guys I did. He's a great guy.
Yes. Yes,
A real character.
Yep.
We loved him. Everybody loved him on TV, too.
We found your initials downstairs in the men's bathroom.
Oh.
Which one?
Scratched in the wall. W.
When it was a schoolhouse.
Did you do that?
I wouldn't do anything like that.
Oh, you wouldn't.
Must be a forgery.
Must be a forgery. Come sit down.
Where does the name come from? Let me start.
Ooh, that was a good start. You mean the town of Roquebluffs?
Yeah.
The town name.
Okay. The name.
Okay. The currently accepted story is that the name of the town of Roquebluffs was attached by John Gardner, who at that time in 1891 owned Roque Island. That version came from the town clerk in a 1954 book on Maine place names. If you go farther back in time and you look at some of the people that were here in about the time the town was incorporated and into the 1930s, the name of the town was chosen by lawyer C.B. Donworth of Machias, and it was a way that he thought to attract business to the town of Roque Bluffs from particularly Roque Island. The word bluffs is found in some of Walt's materials dated much earlier, and the name Roque, of course, is obscure where it came from, probably from the French.
Does Roque mean anything? Do we know? Or is it a family name? Or?
There's been considerable research by any number of pretty well-known historians who have not been able to identify that exactly. Probably it came from a French pilot.
I see.
Coastal pilot. Ah. And it probably did indeed come from the French.
My great-grandfather was in the potato business here, which he raised many potatoes, and I couldn't figure it out by reading the journals why he was doing all these potatoes, because he had no potato houses to keep them in. But finally connected it to the fact that the famine in Europe, in Ireland and what have you, that with all these potato grounds that he had, he was taking the potatoes by horse and cart after he dug them in the fall and taking them in, and they were loaded on. He and various other farmers were doing this, you know, like in Marshfield, all around, and taking them in and selling them. And they were loaded on sailing ships and taken to Europe, where they had that big famine.
In Ireland.
In Ireland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And how about the lobster? I thought that was a good story, Walter.
The lobsters?
Yeah, on the beach.
That's why my roses grow so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they were all spread.
What was that?
Well, there was quite a large factory down in Bear Cove, the Burnham and Morrill factory, and this would have been quite well back. This was before they had lobster traps. They just go down on the shore on the low water and pick up the lobsters and cart them over to the Burnham and Morrill factory.
God, there were that many of them?
So many there were.
Just pick them up?
Yep.
Like in the shallows, would they?
No, they'd be under the rockweed and round at low water, and so they could wade around and get them.
Gosh.
And of course, after a while, they got so many of them that then they had to go lobster fishing offshore with lobster traps and what have you. But that run that Burnham and Morrill factory for quite a while, just on what the men was picking up around the shore.
And what would they do with the lobster meat?
Well, they canned it.
They did?
Yep. Killed a lot of people because they were using cans and sealing them with lead,
Yeah, that's not
which was not good.
No.
you know, yes.
Now, how did their roses get to be so good then?
Just see, after a big storm, why they would wash the lobsters ashore, because it would kill them. So they go down with a pitchfork and a cart and a horse, and where Kelly's place is, right there was that had loam that deep. It's beautiful, beautiful loam, because great-grandfather, that's where he had his gardens, vegetable gardens and stuff.
So now, what's happening now? What do you do out here?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I sleep a lot.
You're retired?
Yes,
What did you do?
watchmaker.
A watchmaker.
Yep.
Did you have a business, a watch shop here?
Oh, yeah.
Not here though, probably in Machias, right?
In Machias.
Yeah, well, good for you.
What, third generation watchmaker? Well,
Yeah. My uncle and my father were both watchmakers. I learned it when I was very young. I did it when I was in the service, and then I worked for the Canadian Pacific Railroad in Brownville Junction for a number of years as a watchmaker.
Do they still use watchmakers for?
Now,
Huh?
it's a lost profession. Everything's electric, even what I'm wearing.
You mean you didn't even make your own watch?
No, but I've got plenty of watches, but,
Are they still working?
oh yes, yeah.
Well, that's great. I think that's an amazing thing to be able to do, to build those. Because a lot of math is involved in that too, isn't it?
Yep. And it's not good for your eyes, especially your right one if you're right-handed.
Why?
Makes one eye over a period of time, one eye will see up close and the other one will see way off, and you would like to go around the circle.
Hey, you're right. Sure.
Yep.
Oh, okay, good.
What are we looking at?
you're looking at the big house next door to me.
Yep, big house on the point, just the other side or this side of Kelly's.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
And the English
There's
River?
the old, yeah, there it is, the old bridge, huh? Nice. So you're from southern Maine?
Not really.
No, you're from the south.
I'm from Virginia,
Oh, nice.
retired here in Maine,
Did
as
you?
opposed to Florida. I'd like to welcome you to the Roque Bluffs Community Chapel. It was built in 1901. The construction started then and was dedicated in July of 1902. The heritage of this church is Baptist. We held a 100th anniversary celebration in July of 02 and had a Southern pig roast, which has become an annual event since that time. So when we became interested in the chapel, I was in 2001, I believe. I had attended services here briefly prior to that time. The chapel was in a state of disrepair, and actually had been closed except for a few services. So a group of ladies, I think there were 5 of us, met, and we started asking questions about what we could do to begin repairing the church physically, not having any idea where we were headed, which is not unusual when you get 5 ladies together. But at any rate, the heritage is Baptist. It's no longer a Baptist church.
So what do you call it then?
We call it Roque Bluffs Community Chapel. We changed the name to chapel simply to signify a new beginning. It's still a church. It will always be a church, and it will always have a Baptist heritage. But it could no longer function as just a Baptist church because there weren't enough Baptists to attend the church.
Mm-hmm.
These are the original collection baskets. And at times people wonder, well, why are they made out of fabric? And that's because when you put coins in, they won't make a noise. And that way people feel that everyone is equal, whether you put in $1 that's paper or a quarter or a dime. Everything is equal.